In 1963, LDF had an internship program. It had two interns, Julius Chambers and Marian Wright. Marian was in the New York office for a while, and then she was assigned to Mississippi. That was a big movement to make some difference in terms of the rights of African Americans throughout the country, especially in the South, and Mississippi was a place to start.
I grew out of a legal defense fund, and I feel so lucky to have been able to go down to Mississippi as a 25-year-old lawyer to try to open up that closed society.
I wish that senators would have a chance to go and just look at the empty cupboards in the Delta and the number of people who are going around begging just to feed their children. And starvation is a major, major problem now.
I was called to testify in Washington. I asked if they would come and see what was really going on, which was starvation and malnutrition, and an attempt to make people leave the state if they were poor and black. And the committee, to my surprise, came. But Robert Kennedy came with them, and he brought the press for the first time.
I think, of course, Mr. Chairman, that this is a reflection on all of us in the country of 1967 and the most prosperous country in the world. That we would think that all of us would be able to provide for some of our citizens living in this part of the country.
The Children's Defense Fund is the grandchild of the Poor People's Campaign that Dr. Martin Luther King and Robert Kennedy started before they were assassinated, and I was blessed to be the policy director for that Poor People's Campaign to continue the work and the dream and the vision of Dr. King to end poverty in America.
I first heard of Marian back in 1960 when she was a student in Atlanta, and people would say, "That's Marian. Get in touch with Marian." She emerged as a leader, brave, courageous, just smart, real smart. She wanted to do something not just about civil rights, but about children, all children.
When I look at CDF's very successful program, what I see is what Marian learned on the ground. So here's Marian, who became the first black woman to become a member of the Mississippi Bar. Martin King was a mentor. The whole movement of nonviolent resistance, Marian understood it, experienced it, practiced it. You see all of that she experienced then reflected in today's policies at the Children's Defense Fund.
The first law that we were able to lead and get enacted in the Congress was the Educational Handicapped Children's Act. We've got millions and millions of children who have health care, and CDF has played a very key role in that. We've got early education investments and Head Start investments that have grown over the years. We've got after-school investments that have grown over the years. We've been able to make some cracks in decreasing child poverty, but one of the things we never do is we never give up.
If Martin Luther King Jr. could come back and see what Marian Wright Edelman is doing, he would be very proud.
Marian has epitomized Martin's concept of servant leader. You read that bio of hers, and you're in awe. And you meet the person, and it's like your sister, or your mother, or your aunt. She is one of the most humble people I have ever met. She deserves every award she's ever gotten. And so it's an honor for LDF to be able to honor her.